Hello crafters and sewers. What you have just witnessed there at the start was me playing around with the editing things, and I was trying to make a little short, but I filmed it horizontally instead of vertically, so it was no good for a short. So, well, not to waste, I've stuck it on the front there. So here I am showing you how I'm making a little baby quilt. It's a decent size, but a little baby quilt for a boy. This is for a September baby, so I thought I'd better get a wiggle on. And here I am in my baskets and bags of fabric. I was looking for blue, just plain blue in solids, so just a big variety of different tones and shades, but I don't have enough, so I've branched out and I'm using green, purple, violets, sticking to the colder colours of the wheel, but branching out. I've had this idea for a while, so I have been collecting blue colours, but it's still not enough. And my friend said that she's going to bring me some over as well, but even with hers, I'm just thinking that you probably need an awful lot of different shades. So I've cut them out and I've sorted them into lights, mediums and darks. And I'm starting off by making half square triangles. So I've cut some 10cm squares that I'm drawing a line down the middle diagonally. I've put a dark colour with a light colour, and then I'm going to sew at each side 1/4 inch each side of that line, and then I'm going to cut the line right down the middle. So cut the pen line, open it up, press it out to the seams go to the darker side, usually in patchwork, and so press it and cut them all down to the same size, square them off with my little ruler. And so I'm going to go for a scrappy look. I just want as many different fabrics as possible in this little baby quilt, so therefore I've used even small scraps, anything that I could get, for 10 centimetres I was cutting it up and it was in the right colour. So this is from this book here, and they suggest this. So instead of doing each square, they've put a grid of squares and done the same thing, sewed it up diagonally. I have done this before as well, but I don't want just 2 colours, I want lots of them. So once I have my half square triangles, I play around with them, and I have decided to add in some pops of colour. I'm thinking orange. I have this really nice shirt and it's just so nice and stripy. I'm going to cut a little piece up. I'm just playing around with different things to see what will work, what do I have enough of. And then once I've got some manageable pieces sewn together, I just pin them up to this kind of spare bit of fabric, and then when I run out of room I pin something to the curtains. My poor husband. Anyway, so as you can see now, I've added these little pops of orange and I'm liking that a lot better. So now I just have to think about what I'm going to put in these border lines. So I'm in my little stash of fabrics again. I really love a stripe. This is my son's old shirt that I showed you before. So I've sewn on a top and bottom border, and then I'm going to sew on the other 2 sides, because the other 2 sides needs this square on. So I just tried to take a few pictures and a tiny video just to show you the progression. Loving this green, really like this shade of green. Adding on the half square triangles, the top and bottom. I do the 2 opposite sides first, and then I'm going to sew a border onto the half square triangles. So this is where I like to put the half square triangle parts facing up, so I can see what I'm doing and making sure that I am sewing along the point of that triangle and that I'm not cutting the point off that triangle, because I have been known to cut off points a little bit and I don't like it. I mean, it depends on taste. Some people don't mind, but I do like a pointy triangle. So this is how I'm doing it. And then once I get to the end of the row, I have a little check, open it up and make sure, is it pointy, is it pointy? Yes, that'll do me. Lovely. So I've sewed a border all the way around. And when I get to this point, I kind of almost feel, I just think, oh, finished. But there is another border to be going on. So no losing motivation. Keep going, keep going. And I really love this pattern because it was following this book and this pattern that I really fell in love with patchwork. About 20 years ago, I got it out the library and I thought, oh, I'd like to make that. And I did, made it quite badly, but I absolutely loved it. And I love doing it. And it's a really nice, easy pattern, manageable and a manageable size to quilt afterwards and everything. So when I saw the book in a second-hand sale, I just whipped it up straight away. I remember that I machine quilted it and I didn't know what a walking foot was. A walking foot allows you to pull the material through the machine from the top and the bottom so that you get a nice quilting finish. But I didn't even know that existed and I just sat at the machine and quilted it all, so it was a bit weird looking, but I absolutely loved it. I was so proud of myself. And there probably wasn't even a point on the pointy triangles, but you know, it's the love of patchwork. I love it. So let's get the next border on and we'll see what it looks like at the finish. And just before we do that, I was just a knock on the door and my friend sent her son round with her bag of blue fabrics. But I've almost finished really. But I'm just having a look through to see if there would have been enough. I don't even know how to make a monochrome quilt really. So maybe I was being a bit ambitious. So it's just as well. So this is my finished quilt top. I love doing it. I've absolutely loved doing it. And I really love the result as well. I hope the quilting goes okay. And I'm on my own for my quilt sandwich because my patchwork club's finished for summer. But it's not too big, so it should be okay. It's about 1 metre by 1.5 metres. This is the example of the one in the book. Gorgeous colours, less scrappy. Okay. And then I've put my daughter on this so you can get a little bit of an idea of the scale. So this is a decent size, I think, for a baby. And I've had an absolute ball making it. I would just like to say a really big thank you to everybody who's already subscribed. And thank you also for the really lovely comments that I've got. Thank you so much. Oh, and I forgot to introduce myself again. This was Carol. Thank you so much for watching. Like it if you've liked it and subscribe if you wanna.